Okay, this is Reverend Joseph Andrew Jensen. I have something very important to mention to you now. God just spoke loud and clear to me. What all this is all about, I was waiting for the answer, and here it is. This next payday, next week, not next week, but the Wednesday after next week, okay? I get a certain amount of money, right, for $1,600 basically. And when I get this money, actually it's more closer to $1,500, I have a couple things to do. One of them was I was going to buy a computer. The other one is I have to go pick up my lawnmowers and things for my ex-wife. She wants me to come get them and rent a truck. Those are the only things I had in mind. To have to, the one thing I had to do is get that for my wife. The stuff, my lawnmower and things. She's gonna take my pressure washer, my lawnmower. Anyway, she's tired of seeing it in her being at her house. Okay, getting off that. Let's get on to what God just told me. I'm going to be making God's Living Ministry a church. I'm starting a church. God wants me to start a church. It'll be on YouTube, on podcasts. I'll make it directly from podcasts. I'll learn how to do it. I'll probably still get the computer this week. It's necessary. I need it. Computer, 1 terabyte computer, HP computer. It might not be the best computer in the world, but it won't be the worst either. It's got to be a good computer. HP Envy will be as good as I can get for the money. I want an HP Envy. If I can afford it, I'll get the television camera and the tripod for $200 more. These are 3 things I want to do. That'll put me back to broke, almost, but it won't be a waste of money because I'll be using the computer right away to make videos and podcasts, and I'll also use the camera and tripod. Now, where I'm staying now is not the best place in the world to start a church. It's not the worst place in the world to start a church. And I have stuff outside. I have a green screen and things like that. I have to figure this thing out, but God's telling me to start the church, God's Living Ministry. If the world pays attention to my ministry, I get local people, as many local people to join my ministry as possible. People joining right away, and then get people to starting locally, starting with the people I do know, and the church will start getting members. With this, it's possible to get the message out. And I'll have help. I need help. I need recognition more than anything. I need thumbs up. For God's sake, I just need everybody to recognize me and get thumbs up. And this is the way to do it. And this is what God's talking about. Once I get recognized, it's going to start a fire. Fire that can't be put out. This fire can't be put out because you can't deny God. And what God's trying to do is inevitable. Inevitable is God is going to say, you're on my side or you're on theirs. That makes sense to you? You're on my side or you're on theirs. Don't even claim anybody. You understand what it is? I shouted it. Don't even claim. You know Jesus or you know God if you don't even know God lives inside you. Don't even think that you know God if you think you don't know where God lives. Don't even go there. I don't care if you're a Christian, I don't care if you're a Jew, I don't care if you're a Muslim, what religion you are. It doesn't matter what religion you are. If you can't recognize that God is giving life in you, I don't care, you Buddhist. Come on, show me that Buddha is your life and what Buddha can do. I don't care, because you guys will take God's coin. It makes no difference, because when it comes right down to it, we'll find out who has God, who's going to accept God, or they going to accept the world. I am saying that everything is mushkila. All things, churches, books, understanding, anything that has you go besides you understanding that God's right there. You don't have to go to confession to a priest when God's right inside you. The third party doesn't need to exist between you and God. It's a personal thing. God is inside you. He has control of you. There's nobody needs to go in between you and God. You confess your sins to man is what they want to hear. Don't go there. Put anything in front of God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Think about what they just said. Before me. God, you. Don't put any gods before you. He's in you. Don't go anywhere else to find God, in other words. Okay? Gandhi couldn't figure it out. Einstein couldn't figure it out. And it's basically because they didn't want to. They chose not to. Well, now it's not going to be a choice. God's not giving you a choice. Because he's taking the world down. Through God's coin. Through coming clean. Coming clean is going to be a big one. It's going to start the chaos. The pointing of fingers between gang members and criminals and politicians. Secret societies. Everybody's going to come clean. The actors in Hollywood will finally be free of the Rothschilds and the Screen Actors Guild, what satanic got up to. They might not even know about the satanic. They might never have reached that level, but they know, they've heard about it. They all know about it, and they are in a blackmail position. They can't, because if they say anything, they lose their jobs as actors. Well, guess what? If God's coin is the only source of money in the world, guess who's got the money? They don't have the money. I got the money. God's Living Ministry has the money. And if God's Living Ministry has the money, where's that put the Rothschilds? Where's that put the secret societies? Where's that put the governments? Where's it put the secret society? Donald Trump at one time says he was going to win war by take away the money. That's how he does it. Smart. I ain't saying Donald Trump's smart in everything he's done. I got a lot of things I could have taught him. He didn't need to build the wall. He only needed to put the military in tents on temporary bases, all on the southern border and northern borders. They need to be on the borders anyway. Claim the land between the first 100 miles around the whole United States, at least on the north and south borders. Beachfront property is too expensive to own, like to put a military base on. But on our southern and northern border that are in trouble, the deserts, there's no reason for us not to have our camps there. intense, starting intense. But the 100 miles is a safe zone, because for 30 miles it's going to be mined with compression, minefields. Anybody that steps on military land is not subject to laws, amnesty, or appeals, or go to jail. They have a whole new set of rules called the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice, they live by. Now, if you get on their land, you have no rights. They can take you by helicopter right back where you came from. Immediately, no trial. Pick you up and take you back wherever you come from immediately. You got to cross a base that's being flown over by helicopters like it's a war zone. Jets having days when they bomb and have airstrikes. You can't allow people to cross the lands like that. So you put a 30-mile area for training in real combat situations. People can't go within that area. Then you got to have the living quarters in the training areas. That's another 15 to 30 miles. Okay? The rest is the 30 miles that says, don't even try to come close to a base. 15 miles on one side, 50 miles on the other. That leaves 90 miles. With 10 miles left over. As a warning for civilians, stay away from the border. It's controlled by the military. This is what the United States could have been doing, should have been doing, rather than spinning walls and asking people to vote on something that he had the power to create. This is what I'll say when I have a church. When I have a church, I will tell people exactly what we should have done, what we could do, what we need to do, and how to do it, and how God's going to do it, and what they need to do. And one number one thing that they need to do is a thumbs up. Listen, watch, listen, read. Listen to the my past videos. Look at my things and get to God's going and do as you're told. Get prepared. I don't know what the world's going to say, but I can start. God's saying, start my church. Start my church. And that's what God just told me loud and clear. And I just heard him loud and clear. And I've been waiting for that. And God's not messing with me. And I haven't gone every time he's told me to go. I went to Africa. I went to Palestine. I went to Egypt. You know what I'm saying? I went everywhere on a moment's notice. My story will be told. But now, this is what God's saying to do. Start my church. God's living ministry. I don't have a committee. I'm a sole proprietor. I don't have I won't have anybody making any decisions, group, anybody involved in the workings of my church. You can volunteer to help, that's great. You can donate your money, that's great. Better yet, you can buy God's coin, that's great too. Because that's the same thing as donating to me. The only thing you're going to do is get the God's coin in return. You're on the receipt. The reason people buy God's coin through my website is because I have to give, that receipt is what I kept permanently to say who you are, by your card. You have to put your debit card in there. You have to put your credit card. You have to give me your name and things. I know who you are. That's your recognition. I can't get credit to you unless I know the simple facts of how you bought the card. And whoever's that's exactly what you're going to get. That's why I have to have you spend $1 to register yourself so I know who you are and I can date the God's coin. You got 20 years to use it or lose it. The whole world's going to have is going to be the only thing left. Because it's got to reach 9 billion people. Bitcoin has only reached 20 million, not billion. I got to reach 9 billion. Bitcoin's been in existence 20 years, and they reached 20 million. Okay, I'm getting off this. It's a short message, but this is what God told me, and I'm excited. So this is going to be God's War 8. That means I made the 3rd video today. Okay? And this is what it's going to be. I'll make another video tomorrow. And I already know what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Good night.